In this video, we're going to show you how to create an orbit effect by using some different types of keyframes. So I've got Jupiter here, and I've got a Mars image. So again, this is great because it's totally fictional. When I drop the Mars image, you can see it's a bigger resolution, so it's larger. So I need to shrink that down. I'm using my period key will enlarge or zoom in, and then the comma key will zoom out. And then I'm going to just use my selection tool, hold shift down to constrain the proportions on Mars. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Now what's happened right now is it is behind Jupiter. And you can see on the stacking order, Jupiter is on top, so it is more opaque. So I'm just going to grab the Mars layer and move it on top. And let's still make it a little bit smaller. Okay. So what I want this to do is basically orbit Jupiter. So what we're going to do is, let's just do a start keyframe here. And I'm going to do P for position. And then I'm going to go down a little bit on the timeline. I'm going to hold shift down so it goes back and forth. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to select both of these. So I click and hold shift, I can select both of those keyframes. And then I can do a Command C. Basically what I'm doing is copying. And then I can just go down the line here and then position, paste, and then select one of those again. Command C, paste, paste, paste. And what this is going to do is then just basically toggle this back and forth. You can see it's moving really fast, so we may want to spread that out. What's happening is the time in between both of those is too short. And so I can just select using my selection tool. I'm just going to select all of them. And then if I hit the Alt or Option key as I drag, it will spread those keyframes out. It still might be a little bit quick, but we'll still go with that. So I've got my keyframes, and really all that's doing is going back and forth. And so the next thing that we want to do is make that look like it goes behind Jupiter. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to copy the Jupiter layer. I'm just going to duplicate that, Command D, or edit, duplicate. And I'm going to move that Jupiter on top. And so now you can see it's just going behind it because we have that other Jupiter, or the keyframes happening. So what we want to do is have that top Jupiter change in its opacity from 100 to 0, but instead of having it smoothly transition, fade in and out, I'd like it just to be totally on or off. So opaque or totally invisible. So what we're going to do is use our keyframes as markers. So I'm going to start with the opacity here at 0. And what I'm going to do is control click or right click, and we can change this to a toggle hold keyframe. And what this does is basically give us that on off effect. So you can see that. I'm just going to copy it. So if I go down the line, it's going to pass in front, and at this point I'm going to paste again, but at this point I want it to be back at 100. And so the opacity now is at 100, and so it goes behind, or at least appears to go behind. And at this point now, I'll cut and paste that again, so you can see how that works. So if you wanted to just, again, we're going to use our key markers here, using K to kind of go down the timeline. And what that should do now is create that orbit. It's not a fast orbit, but it works. So all that's happening then is that top layer, and if you wanted to turn off the bottom visibility, you can see it's just going to blink on and off in its opacity. And that on and off reveals the Mars just going back and forth. But the way it looks, it makes it look like it's orbiting. So that's a way of using the toggle keyframe to turn the visibility of Mars on, or Jupiter on and off. So that can be a really handy tool to give you a